Well, here we are again, COVID-19 lockdown, and I'm sorry to say this, some of you are locked in your places, but I'm out here in the lambing paddock. Got my special lambing crook with me for catching little lambs by the back leg, and I'm out here today having a look around, seeing what's to be done with these ewes and their little lambs, seeing if there's any new lambs about the place. I was out here last night, and quite honestly, it was a beautiful, that sky up there past my head at the moment was beautiful with stars. It was clear. We live in a clear skies area. It was an amazing night. But earlier today I'd been in the co-op in Llandovery, and I don't even know, there it goes again. I got a bit of a cough, and you know what, it's in the family. We suffer with catarrh, you know. Sorry about that. Hope it's not breakfast time or anything for you, but we suffer with catarrh, and you get this persistent cough. It's not a COVID cough, okay? It's producing phlegm, I guess you'd say. Not too nice. But I tell you what, there's nothing guaranteed to clear the aisles in front of you in the co-op better than a little cough like that. It's not COVID, but people scatter, and people are getting too close. They're not keeping their distance, and if you just got a bit of that going on, boy, they scatter away. Now, it's not a threat, but it's perceived as a threat. And here's something serious I'm seeing about at the moment with quite a few people. I'm carrying on my rural chaplain's job, my pastoral ministry with folks on the internet and on the phone and everything else like that, and just chatting with people. Quite a lot of people, farming people and so on, are getting quite anxious. Enough stress in farming as it is without disease coming along like this behind it. Quite a lot of anxiety out there. Now look, here's something about managing anxiety, right? There are threats that are real and there are threats that are not. It reminded me of a verse in the Psalms, and it's Psalm 121, which starts off, "Unto the hills around shall I lift up my longing eyes. From whence shall my salvation come? From whence arise?" And it's a psalm for the people of God in times of trouble and anxiety and stress. There's a very interesting verse in it. It says, "He who watches over Israel doesn't slumber or sleep." So he's talking about God's people. Israel was Jacob. Jacob laid hold of God and wouldn't let go of God by the jabot until God blessed him. He wouldn't let go of God. And it's the characteristic of the people who won't let go of God. God's people, we're not going to let go of God. Whatever happens, we're not going to let go of God. And it says, to people like that, it says this. It says, "The sun shall not harm you by day." Well, reasonable enough, hot climate, you've got to watch out for the sun, right? In the days of the psalmist, in the place that he was living, you had to watch out for this. The sun could harm you by day, it's a real threat. "The sun won't harm you by day, nor the moon by night." Now, I've heard of sunstroke, right? But I've never heard of moonstroke. It's just the moon looks like a threat. It looks similar. It's this disc of light in the sky. The sun can harm you by day, but the moon won't harm you by night. But people get scared of it because it looks like a threat. It looks like something you should be worried about, and actually it's not. Now, we've got to be very careful about COVID-19, okay? No question. But there's a great danger in times like these, when there are threats about, of seeing a threat in something that's not a threat, like my co-op clearing the aisle in the co-op, okay? My cough cleared the aisle. It wasn't a threat, but it looked like it might be, and people scattered. I understand the principle of caution. It's very wise. I am alive today so many times over because of the principle of caution, right? But the thing is this. God promises to his people, those who get hold of God when they're feeling under pressure and distress and won't let go of him, he says, "The sun won't harm you by day." That's a real threat. "The moon won't harm you by night." Don't be scared of the not a threat that looks like a threat. Don't be anxious about things you don't need to be anxious about, or things you can't change. The sun won't harm you by day. He says, "I will protect you." The moon won't harm you by night. It's not a threat, it just looks like one. And don't give it headspace. There's my thought for the week. Psalm 121 verse 6. I recommend you have a look at Psalm 121. The Psalms are in the Bible. If you throw a whole Bible open, it'll be in the Psalms right in the middle. Psalm 121 verse 6. "The sun shan't harm you by day, nor the moon by night, if you lay hold of God and keep your trust in him." Have a great week. They're interesting times. Get hold of God. Don't let go. And don't cling to fears that are not a real threat. God bless you.